students, welcome back to my class. Today we are going to study Sylvia Plath's poem Lady Lazarus. Lady Lazarus is one of those few poems of her final days, and this poem, which was published in the collection Ariel in 1965 posthumously, is also belonging to those few poems which are known as the strange and terrible poems of Sylvia Plath. And this poem very explicitly brings out the dark and brutal tone through which the poet is bringing out her tortured soul and a nightmarish experience of her own. Sylvia Plath, as we know, was one of the pioneering figures of confessional poetry, and a poet, though lived for a very short time. She died very early at the age of 30 only, but she produced very significant poetic contribution to elaborate the feminist experience. And she, in her poem, twists the everyday imageries to create that nightmarish experience of desperation and death wish. As a poet, she expressed the ferocious feminine spirit of love, hate, fear, anger, anguish, misery, so on and so forth. And the female rage, the ambivalence, and the grief, these are the very explicit characteristics of her poetry of the mature period. And through them, she exhibited an unrestrained and uncompromised manner of self-dramatization and self-pity. So, this poem, like the other poem Daddy, is bringing out the relationship between the contemporary Holocaust and the movement against conventional patriarchy of that contemporary period, as well as it also brings out to the fore the complex individuality of modern period, and particularly of a woman, which is much, much complex than of a man, and the interpersonal relationship between man and woman. So, let us begin the poem. The poem is written in tercets, in 3-line stanzas, and there are 28 tercets here. So, the poem, the title of the poem, as we know, it is taken from the Bible. The biblical character of Lazarus is being given a figure of a lady, and though it is a poem of biblical reference, but actually this poem is not celebrating the conventional values and virtues. Rather, it is bringing through it or exploring within it the mental transformation of the poet going through the previous suicidal attempts. And she is exhibiting her rage for destroying her own body, but her imaginative self remains a performer and always aware of the effect she has on others. So, both creativity and consumption is being presented through the poem. And here, suicide is an assertion of the wholeness of an act of self-definition, a desperate act of contempt of the crowd. Through it, she can keep herself intact, and she does that rather than to be turned into a possession or commodity. So let us look at the poem. The poem begins with, I have done it again, 1 year in every 10, I manage it. So the poet is confessing that she has committed suicide, and these attempts are repeated every decade. A sort of walking miracle, my skin bright as a Nazi lampset, my right foot a paperweight, my face a featureless fine Jew linen. And she is bringing out the memories of the Holocaust, the Nazi tortures on the Jews, by telling that I am just like a sort of walking miracle. She is comparing herself with the character of Lazarus, who comes out of the death, who was revived from death by Jesus. So my skin bright as Nazi lampset. We know these are the practices that the Nazis had done during that Holocaust. They made lampsets out of the Jew skins after killing them. And my right foot, a paperweight. And they also were using the foots of the dead or killed Jewish people as paperweight. And my face featureless fine Jew linen. But my face is featureless. There is no expression. It is the face without any trace of life or living pulses. Peel off the napkin, oh my enemy. And she is telling that my enemy. So who are the enemy? Here the poet is telling all those people who bring her back to life as her enemy. They peel off her napkin from the face. Do I terrify? She is asking the question that when you look at my face of death coming from the suicide, when you bring me back to life, compel me back to the life, are you terrified by my expression, my face? The nose, the eye pits, the full set of teeth. Are you terrified by the nose, eye pit and set of teeth? Because these are the features which are very prominent in a dead body. So she is telling, when you take out the napkin from my face after rescuing me from my attempt to commit suicide, what do you find there? Do you find there the trace of a dead body or anything else? Are you terrified by that? The sour breath will vanish in a day, and that breath which comes from the death, which is sour, because the breath, the air stops within the dead body. So that will stop in a day, that will vanish, because I will be reviving, I will be coming back to life, I will be again being normal. So here she is bringing out the idea of the feminist protest, that the male is trying to make the female live only for his own purpose. Therefore, she is telling, even if my figure is terrible, then within very few days again I will be normal, and you want a woman to be normal so that you can discriminate, you can exploit, and all those ideas of patriarchies can be implemented. Soon the flesh, the grave cave it will be at home on me, and I a smiling woman. And very soon, all those traces of the grave or the traces of the death, they will be vanishing from me, and I will be smiling like a woman. And the male world always wants that a woman should smile. The male world always ascribes a female to be beautiful, to be smiling, so that the patriarchal society, the patriarchal order can be maintained. So she is telling, And I am smiling woman. I am only 30. And like the cat, I have 9 times to die. And she is telling, I am only 30. But already I have attempted 2 times. I have lived. I have survived those 2 attempts. But I am not going to die. I am like a cat. The cat is a powerful symbol of the femininity. And she is telling that the English proverb that the cat has 9 lives, that means the cats don't die so easily. They can overcome the mishaps and accidents, so a woman can. So a woman can survive after all the mishaps, all the accidents, all the attempts. So she is telling, I can live like a cat 9 times to die. This is number 3. What a trust to annihilate each decade. And she is telling, but I have only tried. Now I am going to try for the 3rd time. So this is only 3rd. And what a trust to annihilate each decade. And every attempt of my suicide is annihilating, is erasing the whole decade of my existence. After every suicide, when I come back to life, as if I have come with a new life. That is the idea of the patriarchy. The patriarchy thinks that I have been reborn. So all my past is erased. Even if there were some conflicts, there were certain anomalies, those were being erased. I have been presented as a new woman. What a million filaments the peanut crunching crowd shove in to see, then unwrap me hand and foot. And when I have been rescued, I have been saved from my attempt to die, then the crowd gathers around me. And these crowds, she is using the adjective peanut crunching crowd. These are the casual crowds. They are not serious that why a woman commits suicide. What are the problems of the woman? They are simply the people who want entertainment. So they find the suicide of a woman as entertainment. So they crowd around me and shoves in to see. They jostle against each other to have a look at me. How a woman was trying to commit suicide. How she has been revived from her death. Then unwrap me hand and foot. They also want to see each and every part of my body. They unwrap the whole body, my hand and foot. The big striptease, gentlemen, ladies. So she is telling this is just like a striptease, a farce, an unraveling of the woman, to see the woman and all her sufferings, but without looking at the sufferings or sharing it. They are simply the farce seekers. They seek the farce to observe as if this is just like a circus. So, gentlemen and ladies, so she is addressing all these people are gentlemen and ladies, the onlookers, and she is telling that these are our enemies. And she is going on by telling, these are my hands, my knees. I may be skin and bones, but she is telling what you are looking at with your entertaining mood, that what you are trying to see, that how the body of this woman who was committing suicide looks. But you know, this is reality for me. So what is a farce to you? What is some entertainment for you? It is my reality. My life is having all these sufferings. I am suffering from distress. I am suffering from that mismatch with the life around, which you cannot know, which you cannot share, which I cannot share with you, nor you can understand it. See, tries to present that the patriarchy is only interested in the normalcy or the continuance of the conventional man-woman relationship, where the woman is an object of exhibition, an object of the emotion and all compassion, but without proper understanding of the needs or the mind or the feelings. So she is telling that nevertheless I am the same identical woman. So after committing or attempting the suicide, I have not changed. I remain the same identical woman. The first time it happened, I was 10. It was an accident. So at the age of 10, there was an attempt. Not exactly attempt, but it was an accident by which she had fallen into the risk of death, but she had been revived. The second time I mean to last it out and not come back at all. And second time, at the age of 20, she tried herself to commit suicide. And she thought that she will not come back this time, at least, because she is becoming an object of exhibition, an object of derision, an object of those meaningless compassion on the part of the onlookers, the society, and the patriarchy in particular. So I rocked short as a seashell. They had to call and pick the worm off me like sticky balls. So the second time at the age of 20, when she attempted suicide, she was well determined. And she is giving the image of the shell, sea shell. And as if she is like the creature who is within the shell, who is indifferent, who was indifferent completely to the call of the society to come back to life. And they had to call and pick the worms off me like sticky pearls, and they were able to revive me as if people try to bring out the sticky pearls from within the shell. Dying is an art. And now Sylvia Plath is bringing out the concept of dying as an art. So here she is adding another tension or another binary to the conflict within herself, male and female. Now she is telling it is an art. It is between the artist and the work of art. So dying is an art like everything else. So dying is not an ordinary thing. Anybody can die, as artists are rare. So the people who want to die or who go for death, they are extraordinary, exceptional people like artists. And death must be presentable, beautiful, like art. So I do it exceptionally well. I do it so it feels like hell. And she's claiming that she does try to take out her life in an artistic manner, in an exceptionally well manner. I do it so it feels real. So she's telling, I can do it. I have the courage. I have the power. I have the imagination. I have the aesthetic prowess. So I do it so it feels like hell. I do it so it feels real. So though it is like art, but it is also a reality to me. My death is real to me. Art is nothing but an imitation of the reality. So my death is also a real issue. I guess you could say I have a call. Therefore, she is telling to all the audience, all the people, I guess you could say I have a call. That means I have an intense desire to find myself on the other side of the life, that is death, to experience death. how it feels, how it is different from the life here in the society, the earthly life, how it is different from that. She wants to experience, as the artist wants to go beyond the life, through life, to create the art. It is easy enough to do it in a cell. It is easy enough to do it and stay put. It is this theatrical comeback in broad day to the same place. So she is telling, it is very easy to do it in a cell when you are confined within yourself, as the artist is always lonely in his or her endeavor to explore life beyond the reality. So she is also telling that dying is exceptionally well when it is in a cell. A person cannot die with others' consent, with others' feelings. It is a self-wish. It is an individual wish. It is easy enough to do it and stay put. And once you have decided, you can do it with determination. If you have the feeling for it, if you have the desire for it, you can do it without being disturbed, without being overt, without being the hesitant one. It is this theatrical comeback in broad day to the same place, the same faces, the same brute. Amused shout. But the other side of this self-determination is, or the beauty of death as an art is, the theatrical coming back from death to life. She is calling it theatrical, dramatic, dramatization. People will gather around, people will sympathize, people will exhibit as if they feel for you. They want to share each and every grievances of you. But it is not real. They will forget. So, she is telling, in this theatrical comeback in broad day to the same place, when I come back to life, I come back to the same place, same faces around me. And the same brute. The brute here is suggesting the patriarchy, and particularly here her husband. Amused shout. And there is an amusement with these people around me, the onlookers. What they say? A miracle that knocks me out. They call it a miracle that I have been saved. I have come back. I have been brought back to life. I have been created a new Lazarus, the lady Lazarus. But she is telling that knocks me out. But that very look, that very excitement, that very happiness on the face of the onlookers, that only disappoints me. That knocks me out. I feel disappointed because I know in the heart of heart I am much, much away from them. They can never know what I feel, what I experience, what I desire. There is a charge for the eyeing of my scars. There is a charge for the hearing of my heart. It really goes. And when I come back to life, people come and visit me. And there is an effort on their part to have a look at me. There is an effort on their part to listen to my voice. So everything becomes chargeable, expensive. But the same voice, the same look, they are neglected. They find indifference from the same people while I was there before the attempt to death. And it really goes. And there is a charge for a word or a touch or a bit of blood on a piece of my hair or my clothes. So, each and every part of my body, my voice, my word, everything becomes so precious, becomes so costly when I come back to life. But before those attempts, it was most ordinary, and I feel the indifference of the people. But now that I have come back to the life, everyone is interested to know, everyone is interested to hear my voice, to touch my body, to feel whether I am living or not, how my body feels, how my body is warm or cold, and so on and so forth. So, her doctor, so her enemy. I am your opus. I am your valuable, the pure gold baby. So, she is now using very disdainful attitude towards all these people around. She is telling, so her doctor. So, her, in Germany it is Mr. Doctor. So, her enemy, Mr. Enemy. She is telling all the people around, those who try to bring her back to life as her enemy. I am your opus. I am just like your opus, your object of experiment. You go on experimenting. The doctor will say, let us examine her. Why she is trying to commit suicide? Is it a physical anomaly or a mental anomaly? People will also be analyzing, scrutinizing each and every part of my life. Why I am doing this? Am I a normal woman or something abnormal? So, I become the object of study of all these people, and I consider them as my enemy. I am your opus. I am your valuable, the pure gold baby that melts to a shriek. I just become like a pure gold baby which is in the hands of these people and that melts to a shriek, as if I will be melting in their hands, because all the hands are coming forward to touch me, to examine me, to console me. So much of concern. And in their concern, in their warmth of the concern, as if I will be melting. I turn and burn. Do not think I underestimate your great concern. And within those cages, within those concerns, I simply turn and burn. I am unable to bear all these. I have never experienced so much of concern, so much of feelings. Therefore, I burn and turn. I am unable to bear it. I know these are also not true. These are momentary. After a moment, they will disperse. All these concerns will vanish. And after that, I will be again the object of criticism. I will be the object of all derision and all that. Do not think I underestimate your great concern. But she is telling, I am not underestimating your concern, your great concern for me, because you are expressing all your feelings towards me. But I feel myself that these are not the genuine things, these are not the permanent things which are going to last. As you poke and steer, flesh, bone, there is nothing there. And these onlookers, they are poking, they are steering as if they are examining each and every aspect of my existence after the attempt to die. So Sylvia Plath is talking about the commodification of woman on the part of the patriarchy, and she is telling that she is valuable to men only as an object, beautiful but hard and lifeless. And at the same time, she is telling that the onlookers, the people, they are poking and stealing. Flesh, bone, there is nothing there. A cake, soap. So she is again referring to the experience of the Holocaust, when the German people, they have prepared the soap, cake of soaps from the dead body of the Jews. or they made the wedding rings from their bones and gold fillings, and they were also searching for the gold from the burnt out bodies of the Jewish people, and they used them. So these are the very sadistic experiences, sadistic attitudes of the German people under the Nazis that she is trying to bring out in this part of the poem. But there is also she is trying to bring out the same attitude on the part of the patriarchy in their relationship with the woman. So a cake of soap, a wedding ring, a gold filling. The Nazis were known to use the remains of the burnt Jewish bodies to make soap, and they were searching for this gold there. Her God, her Lucifer, beware, be aware. So she is telling Mr. God, Mr. Lucifer, who both are male, who both are men, be aware, be aware. But she is now, towards the end of the poem, is exhibiting her ferociousness by telling that you be aware now. Whatever we have endured, but now no more. I am not going to endure it. Be aware, be aware. Out of the ash I rise with my red hair. So I will be rising like the mythical phoenix, the red hair suggesting phoenix, that out of the ash I rise with my red hair, and I eat men like air. And after that I will be eating men like air. So here it can be two things, that she tells other women to keep a safe distance from the men, but with the word be aware, she is telling that she will be either no more going to be powerless, she will be not the powerless victim under them, but that she is ready to take revenge. So in this way, she is trying to tell that she will be coming back as an immortal, if this time she will be coming back from death at all. And if she will come back like immortal, then she will be putting the mortals into great sufferings. That will be the revenge. So the poem ends with a very ferocious expression on the part of the poet. So Lady Lazarus is an exceptional poem of self-confession and representation of self-torture. It is bringing out so much of internal anguish, internal volcanic eruption of feelings for the men around. The poet's comparison with the biblical Lazarus is not exactly the celebration of the conventional values, but of her newly discovered self that seamlessly explores between depression, death, pain, and power. She resents her failure to die and express anger for those who saved her. The tone of the poem, it just changes between menacing and scathing attack on the men in general, and maybe her husband in particular. So in this poem, we find the female rage with her ambivalence and grief being very nicely presented. So this is one of the immortal poems of Sylvia Plath. And from this poem, questions can be asked regarding whether Lady Lazarus is a confessional poem, and if it is a confessional poem, you justify it with examples from within your poem. And the question can also be asked about the female identity, which is not so simple, or it is not very categorical, but it is a very complex female identity that Plath is trying to express through this poem. The very identity of the woman that is presented here, or the narrator, the poet, is a completely different woman. So these are the questions, or questions can also be asked from this poem regarding the use of various references, images from the mythical source or from the contemporary historical source. So that also can be asked, and I hope that you people will do justice to the poem. Thank you.